Introducing the Paddy Power World Darts Championships.
180! Luke, congratulations. Finished the show here on Saturday night in Minehead. Two good displays from you. How would you assess it?
Yeah, I think the same. I think two good displays, but they could have been a lot better. The game against Barney this afternoon, it was a really good performance until I got to the back end of the game. I kind of let it slip a little bit. It didn't matter in the end. But yeah, you kind of want to put them statements out and then really good performances. But, at the end of the day, I thought you've won the game. It don't matter. You can try again tonight. And then tonight, I thought I was really decent until then I got to the back end again. I felt like I dropped off again. I was hitting devil's third dart, not first dart. And yeah, I kind of made it a lot harder for myself than I felt like it could have been. But, when you win the games, it doesn't really matter. Hopefully I'll save that for tomorrow and there's no disastrous endings in the game. And hopefully get into a good lead and then I can put the game away. But there's so many great players around nowadays, like my opponent Ryan Joyce tomorrow I won't look past him and think it's an easy draw. It's a tough game. He's a tough player to beat.
This evening you were king of the 140s and you were frustrated that those maximums wouldn't come, but those 140s still do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I mean they do, of course. It's not about being a big 180 here, it's about the 140s are the most important, but I felt there were so many opportunities there and it wasn't like I wasn't throwing them right. They wouldn't connect with the dart, like the likes of, I don't know, me, Chizzy, Luke, Gary, when them two darts are in there, you just throw out the dart and it goes in and they just were clicking off and it was, kind of frustrating, but sometimes I get so frustrated in the moment, I think, come on, calm down a little bit, it's not the end of the world, but I think the reason why I got a bit frustrated in the game is I felt like it was there for the taking. I really could have got ahead of Damon and I kept letting him back in, but I don't think Damon played at his best there, to be honest. But at the start, it was a good game.
I know you're not looking past it, but everyone else, fans-wise, is looking at you and Luke in opposite halves, and the dream final is still on. Is that something that you look at before a dart is thrown, what the potential final could be?
No, definitely. I don't look that far ahead, of course. But now we're in this situation in quarterfinals. Of course, you can look forward and think that's a possibility. But yeah, I think it's just nice and a privilege that people want. It's on people's lips. They want to see me and Luke. That's a privilege in my eyes. I think it probably will be in his as well. But we've got two hard games to get through yet. Nothing's ever a given in this game, as we've seen over the last couple of months. But if we can get through them two games, them two tough games that we're going to have to get through, and we meet in the final, it is a blockbuster clash. It is something that the fans want to see, I think. And like I said, I'm really privileged that they do want to see that because we have had some great games over the years. He's only over the years, so over the last 12 months, and I'm sure over the next 12 months we're going to have many more.
Look, the seeds have tumbled here, but you and Luke are still standing. Does that just show how good the pair of you are at the moment? That everyone says you two are the best players in the world, and yet again you're showing it here.
I just think we're the most consistent. I think I don't think players fear us. I just think we have that factor where people try a lot harder against us than they do maybe anybody else. But I think we've got that factor in us where we're very consistent. If you play really, really well, then you'll beat us. If you don't, then you probably won't. So, that's a good trait for us both to have. And, in my opinion, for myself, long may it continue.
Luke, many congratulations.
Thank you very much, Phil.
Luke, you spoke about just the end of games there where you're perhaps not sustaining that level. It's not normally like you with that. Why do you think that is?
I think just because of the fact maybe both games I've been quite far ahead. And it's not like me, like you say, but maybe I've just allowed myself to step my foot off the ball just a little bit. And that, like you say, it's not like me. So, you're always learning this game. And I think from these couple of experiences from this afternoon, from tonight, I think when I go into tomorrow, if I'm 7-3 up or something, I'll learn from that and think, right, you stepped off the ball yesterday. Don't do it today. So yeah, you just learn from those experiences, and I'll make sure that don't happen tomorrow if I get into a handsome lead and allow myself some fortunate events.
Is it a good sign that you're still getting these quite comfortable victories, but you're still criticising your performance, saying this I could have done this better? Is that the reason why you are so good and won so much, rather than just being happy with the win and whatever else with the game?
Yeah, I think if you just accept yourself not being at your best. And I think that's kind of where you can fail. I think you always have to prepare. You always have to try and be at your best. You always have to. If you're not at your best, then you kind of have to tell yourself off a little bit in a way because I hold a high standard. And if I don't, then I think that wouldn't have won me all the major titles I'd won. So you're right what you said. I think that has helped me, that high standard that I hold. But it's not affected me. It's not stopped me from what I've achieved. So I'm just going to keep setting that high standard. And hopefully it carries on. You
mentioned that final with Littler is the one that the fans want. We've had Bristol and Lowe, Taylor and Barney, Van Gogh and Anderson. Is this going to be the next big darting rivalry, you and Luke Littler?
I mean, it's not just what the fans want, it's what I want. I think it's what Luke wants. I think we both want that. I think it's it's such a great game to be a part of, and I feel, like I said to Phil, I feel it's a privilege to be in that sort of breath, where people really want to see two players at it, and I'm one of them people. So, yeah, of course, if I could pick it now, I'd love that to be the final. But of course, there's two really tough games to play yet, and over the last couple of months, anything can happen. You could end up seeing two other players, not me and Luke, in the final at all. So, of course, I really want it to be us two in the final. We have some great games, we've had some great finals, and it would be a great blockbuster clash tomorrow. And just get through them first two games first, and then we'll see.
And just something you mentioned in a different interview, you said that you've got a nutritionist and you make sure you get the right amount of sleep and all these meals and stuff like that, which is very much, we will see athletes in other sports sort of doing things like that, making sure everything's right. You think that's where the sport is now going? It's not like it was 10, 15 years ago, and if you're going to get to the top, you have to look after yourself and your body rather than just play a game of darts.
Yeah, but, I don't know how far I'm talking in advance, but I want to be here in 20 years playing at the top level. And if you don't look after yourself, you won't be. The thing is with 10, 15 years ago was, players would probably play maybe once every 2 weeks and they'd play one major every 3 months. It's not like that anymore. And it's going to get a lot harder. We're going to be playing nearly 5 days a week all of a sudden soon. And if you don't look after yourself, you won't be able to deal with the stamina that it takes. So for me, I'm looking after myself, eating as well as I can. And, you don't want to come to these tournaments lethargic, because if you are, they can really, as I've seen in previous tournaments, it really doesn't help you at all. So yeah, I think that for me, having this nutritionist helping me eat right allows me to go to bed feeling fresh, and I wake up feeling fresh. And I think this is becoming very important for someone like me, and I think a lot of players will follow suit as well.
Cheers, Luke. Well done. Thank you very much.
Introducing the Paddy Power World Darts Championships.